The weaver's true thread. The air in the bustling marketplace of Oakhaven was thick with the scent of spices, freshly baked bread, and the murmur of 1,000 conversations. Ilara, a weaver of exquisite tapestries, sat at her stall, her nimble fingers working magic with threads of silk and wool. Her reputation for honesty and the quality of her craft was as finely woven as her tapestries. Liam, her young apprentice, was still learning the delicate art, often distracted by the vibrant chaos around them. Across the cobbled square, Gareth, a merchant known for his shrewd dealings and an even sharper tongue, was haggling fiercely over a crate of rare dyes. Gareth always secured the lowest prices and sold for the highest, a practice he proudly called good business. Most people in Oakhaven respected his success, even if they sometimes winced at his methods. One sweltering afternoon, a gaunt, travel-worn woman approached Ilara's stall. Her clothes were patched, and her eyes held a weariness that spoke of long journeys and hardship. She held out a small, tarnished silver locket. "Forgive me, good madam," she said, her voice raspy, "but I am desperate. My child is gravely ill, and I have nothing left. This locket, it was my grandmother's. I know it has some worth. Will you buy it?" Ilara took the locket. It was old, intricately carved, and undeniably beautiful beneath the grime. She knew its true value was considerable, perhaps enough to sustain the woman and her child for a month or more. Before Ilara could speak, Liam, always eager to help, leaned forward. "It's very old, ma'am, and the silver is tarnished. It might not be worth much, but Ilara is very fair." Just then, Gareth, having concluded his dye purchase, strode past Ilara's stall. He glanced at the locket in Ilara's hand, his sharp eyes instantly assessing its worth. A flicker of greed crossed his face. "That old thing?" Gareth scoffed, stopping abruptly. "It's hardly worth its weight in scrap metal, good woman. The silver's impure, the craftsmanship crude. A few coppers, perhaps, if you're lucky." He winked at Liam, a conspiratorial gesture meant to dismiss the locket's true value. The woman's shoulders slumped further. "A few coppers?" she whispered, her voice filled with despair. Ilara's gaze met Gareth's. His eyes, usually so confident, shifted away for a moment. Then he shrugged, an almost imperceptible gesture of indifference. Ilara turned back to the woman. "Nonsense," she said, her voice calm and firm. "This is a beautiful piece. It needs cleaning, but its craftsmanship is exquisite. It's worth far more than a few coppers." She named a price generous and true to the locket's value, enough to truly help the woman. The woman's face, etched with worry, slowly transformed. Tears welled in her eyes as she nodded gratefully, accepting the coins. As she hurried away, a faint glimmer of hope now in her step. Liam looked at Ilara, bewildered. "Ilara, why did you do that?" Liam asked, keeping his voice low. "Gareth said it was hardly worth anything. You could have bought it for so much less and made a huge profit." Ilara looked at the locket, now clean and shimmering in her palm. "Liam," she began, her voice gentle, "there are many kinds of truth in the world. Gareth spoke a truth of profit, a truth born of what he could gain. But there is also a truth of human worth, of compassion." She then turned to Gareth, who had lingered, a faint smirk on his face. "Gareth," she said, her voice clear, "you value gold and silver above all else. But some things, like hope, like dignity, cannot be bought or sold." Gareth's smirk faltered. He opened his mouth as if to retort, but no words came. He merely grunted and walked away, a rare discomfort in his usually confident stride. The incident in the marketplace became a quiet legend in Oakhaven. People began to speak of Ilara's fairness with renewed reverence, not just for her prices, but for her character. Gareth, on the other hand, found his usual sharp dealings sometimes met with a subtle resistance, a quiet wariness in the eyes of his customers. He still made his profits, but a new, unquantifiable cost seemed to have been added to his ledger, a diminishment of trust. Years passed. Liam, now a master weaver himself, took over Ilara's shop when she retired. He upheld her legacy of honesty and generosity, his own reputation for fairness growing with each passing season. One quiet afternoon, Gareth, older and grayer, came into the shop. He wasn't there to buy or sell, but simply to look at the tapestries. He paused before a particularly vibrant piece woven by Alara, depicting a sun rising over rolling hills. "She was a good woman, your mistress," Gareth said, his voice softer than Liam had ever heard it. He sighed. I was a fool that day with the locket. I saw only the silver. She saw the despair." Liam, now understanding the full weight of that moment years ago, simply nodded. Gareth continued, his gaze still fixed on the tapestry. "I built my wealth, Liam, more than I'll ever need. But there are nights when I wonder what it all means. What good is a pile of coins if you walk alone? Alara, she built something else, something stronger, something that lasts." A tear, unexpected and slow, traced a path down Gareth's weathered cheek. "She taught me, though I was too blind to see it then, that true wealth is measured not by what you accumulate, but by the integrity you maintain and the compassion you extend." He looked at Liam, a profound weariness in his eyes. "I gained the world, but I lost a piece of my soul in the process. She gave away profit, and in doing so, gained everything." He turned and walked out of the shop, leaving Liam with the quiet hum of the loom and the profound realization that some lessons are learned not in the immediate moment, but through the long, slow arc of a lifetime. The value of a choice, good or ill, resonates far beyond the transaction, weaving itself into the very fabric of one's life and the lives of those around them. Thanks for tuning in. We poured our hearts into this story and would love to hear what you thought. Share your comments below. If you enjoyed it, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. See you next time.